against the rules. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Bern. So welcome to our Wild Balance class, aka Yoga Church. I have some volunteers here guiding you through a practice this morning. And just to let everyone know online, my mother is there, so you're all safe. So in this practice today, we're going to be working and focusing a lot into our breath as what we normally do in our yoga practices, but this is going to be engaging with a slight bit of intentional intensity sensation within the hips today. So in our balance classes, the yin, the yang, the ups and the downs, the hot, the cold, the water, the air, everything else all combined, mixing together. So if you have a block or some kind of prop that's a little bit sturdy, we have one block here. You'll be able to use that as we find our way in through not only balance, but just to find a little deeper expression of the posture depending on how you're feeling. Anytime we work into the hips, especially on the weekends, you'll see an entirety of the week show up. So if you're feeling any tightness, any stiffness, just go with ease. Be kind to yourself and just flow as you can. We'll start off in a downward facing dog. So circle wide out, just the props off to the side. And this, in Sunday tradition, is a lazy Sunday yoga dog. So add a little pedaling into the feet. Just bend in. You can add a little hip shift, rotating onto the balls of the feet, off to the toes, taking your hip side to outer side, just kind of taking the dog for a little bit of a wagging walk. I like to pedal in, almost like I'm on a treadmill. I'm just not going anywhere, just staying on my mat, but just adding this movement. Really start to feel this connection in through your palms. This act of spreading the fingers just a little bit wider so you can engage the webbing in between. And take one deep full inhale. And exhale. Let it go. Coming back into your space. Inhale again. Yet hold at the base of the throat. And then exhale, just let it all go. Adding this fluidity of movement, slowly start to roll forward, lower the knees down, tabletop position, wrists under the shoulder, knees under the hips. And immediately start to turn the dial back, take your fingertips back towards your knees, pressing the wrist forward, starting to engage a little bit of activity here. So in this movement, a lot of this is going to be full-on engagement, utilizing both our strength and physical connection into our practice. Having the wrist warmed up is very, very, very important. If you do a lot of Vinyasa classes, this is something you should always integrate in the beginning parts of the practice. Adding any kind of movement here that would feel good into the wrists. Sometimes you even tucking into the back toes, lift off the knees, start to get used to weight distribution in the body. Pressing through active into the arms. Activity in the arms, we sense activity, sense sensation. Doesn't mean we're just like flexing in the arms, finding like the full tenseness of the muscles. It's a nice way just to feel. It's an energetic push. And take your fingertips out to the sides. Walk your palms to the edge of your mat so your fingers are off the mat. It's still yoga. And then tuck your toes, lift the knees up. Whether you realize or not, flatten your back. Add this little puffing into the upper back. So we're going to work into our fire right off the bat. So the wrists are just outside of the shoulders. And you engage between the knees. Start to feel into your breath more. So as you zip the belly button into your spine, breathe in through that point. Let it rise up the middle of the body and into the upper part of the upper torso. And then exhale, release the knees. Fingertips towards each other. Keep pressing the palm down the outside edge of your mat. It's a little bit wider, arms are a little bit opened up, or like a gorilla arm. Same thing, untuck the toes, lift off the knees. Should feel a little bit different sensation. Maybe not as happy your thoughts towards me. And just hold. And again, breathe in through the engaged stomach, all the way up into the throat. And then exhale, release the knees. Neutral spot, hands grounded, fingertips forward. Inhale, cow shape, arch into the spine. You can send your tailbone back just to get this natural bowl shape in the back. And then round to the chest, come forward. And then inhale again, lift and lengthen. As much rounding as you can, press subtly, take the weight out. 3 more, just like that, or how you would like to move, adding any other of your sequencing, your desire for movement. The same connected into the breath. That's 1. 2. Feeling the breath. Happy Sunday, wild ones. We'll meet back in a downward facing dog. How you get there is your journey. Lifting the hips up and back. And the next breath. And find a little stillness in this movement today, especially for the first portion of the balance class. We're going to reduce the desire to be static. Let's keep a little bit more buoyance, a little bit more bounce as you're feeling into any one of these movements, holding into the integrity of the posture, but really just starting to feel in the movement, not forcing ourselves into more of a statuesque type posture. On the inhale, take the right leg up towards the sky, and then knee to nose, kind of find that line, that tiger curl tail. Hold, and then 3-legged dogs into back up. And again, knee into your nose, and then extend back. 3-legged dogs while they come up. And gazing over at your left wrist. So it's like you're coming into a pigeon pose, only going to tap the big toe towards the left wrist and hold. So come forward, tap, and then send it back up. 3-legged dog. 3 more, just like that. Come forward, try to tap the wrist, bring yourself close as you can, and then extend back out. 2 more. Come in, and extend, exhale. Knee comes back in, hold for 3, 2, lower the knee right down the right wrist, pigeon shape, untuck the back toes, lift up. So we're just getting warmed up, so the hips are going to be slightly tight. We're going to find these cat-cow undulations, so inhale, lift up, and then round, taking it back. Almost like you're shushing forward, inhale, lift up, and then press it all the way back. So this pulsation, this movement, and back. Good. 2 more. Inhale, reach out. Even open up the chin a little bit more. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. So finding this movement. So ground the right hand to the outside of your mat. Slowly starting position to the inside arch of the left foot. And then open up. Left arm reaches high. So you're pressing into the right shin. And then we come into a little bit of variation, so slowly start to extend. Step the right leg out and lift and lengthen just a little bit higher. Coming into what would be almost a fallen triangle, just hold. And then slowly start to bring the left hand down, back into our pigeon shape, bring the right shin down, right hand onto the ground. Tucking into the back toes, start to lift off the left leg, round the spine, and step back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, flow your body forward, shoulders over the wrists. Maybe release the knees, or if you're feeling nice and warm, and toast each other under the arms. Inhale, lifting the heart up, any bit shape that works for you. Release, press, and send the body back down to facing dog. Beautiful. Taking a deep breath in, and a calming exhale out. Being mindful of the senses, starting to feel more heat on the skin, fire in both the thoughts, and in our circulation of our bodies. Inhale, left leg lifts high. Knee to the nose, round the spine slightly, just bring yourself forward. 3-legged, slowly take it back up. Find length, find extension. Knee to nose, come back in. 3-legged dog, slowly go back up. And think about these toe taps again, energetic towards the wrist or connecting forward. Knee into the nose, gaze at the right wrist, and see me just tap the left toes right at the wrist. And then 3-legged dog send up. Only 3 to go. Knee in, tap, and exhale. Go back. Inhale, come forward, tap, and exhale. Reach back. Notice I'm not doing it, they are. I'm not as nice. Slowly come forward. 1 more tap, hold for 3, 2, pigeon posture, lower down, same thing. Finding those undulations. So on the inhale, lifting forward, and then around. Lifting forward, inhale, 2. And out. Good, beautiful, everyone. One more time. And release. Gazing out to the outside edge of the left side of your mat. Slowly position your left arm. Strengthening and grounding, creating this pillar within the arm. Slowly starting to take into the inner arch of the right foot, opening up. Start to extend, take the right arm up towards the sky. So you're just pressing into the shin here, feeling into the posture first. You could always stay here. This is the modification. Or really start to root down, pillar strong into the left arm. Lift the hips just a little bit higher. Take the left leg out towards the right. So finding that fallen triangle shape. You're going to really feel the engagement lifting the left hip just a little bit higher. Is it harder? Of course. Is it worth it? Always. Hold here for just one more breath. Nice balance, everyone. And then slowly find your pigeon shape, releasing down, bringing the knee back into center. Tuck into the back toes, engage off the leg first, and then 3-legged dog. Slowly take it back up, right in a downward facing dog, left foot down. Your vinyasa, your movement, roll forward any amount. Feeling into the movement, connected into your breath. Lifting any amount, hold, and taking any amount back, downward facing dog, beautiful. And slowly on the inhale, right leg sweeps all the way to the sky. Bend the knee this time, open up the hip. Step the right foot back behind you, finding your wild thing transition. I like to lower the hips, then bring it up. Find your back mat, heart opener. Just be used to this posture, given the fact that this place is called wild. And then coming into a little bit more staticness, even though we were trying to avoid, step the right foot on top of the left, kind of finding your Vashisthasana side plank. So just lifting up just a little bit higher. And then bringing the right knee in towards the body, gazing back to the top of the mat. Slowly start to position and step forward, all the way forward. Bringing the left heel down to the ground, keeping the right leg strong. Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1, slowly starting to sweep up. So active into the hips. Nice little hip opener here. Position your back foot any amount so that you reach your pelvis parallel, reaching forward. You'll feel that within the squaring of the hips. Strong in the front leg, even if you need to adjust. So the difference is Warrior 2, we're using the fullness of the mat. Warrior 1, just to take a little bit of the pressure out of the low back. It's a shortened stance. And then slowly start to take the arms out to T. Press the walls away. And begin to straighten into the right leg. And adjust into a triangle posture shape. Tilt forward, right arm extends over the right leg, and left arm lifts up. This is where if you have that block or prop, just to find a little depth. In my practices and a lot of yoga sessions you should be experiencing, to go right directly into the full expression of the posture, just warming up into the body is not recommended. Feeling the left foot right dust a little bit more. Beautiful. And from our triangle posture, slowly start to bring the hands into the heart. Lifting up, keeping the right leg straight, bringing the torso back to center. Bend into the left leg. Find your skandasana at the back of the mat, bending back any amount. Good. Possibly working here, working on our balance. We're taking the left arm down, grounding in, aligning the left tricep to the inner leg. Maybe taking the right arm up, find a little bit more length. Don't worry if the back heel is down, that's not the point of the pose. Good. Stay here for one more inhale, gaze towards the top of your mat. Hands back in the heart, or walk the hands all the way back to the top of the mat. Bend back into the right knee, come forward, low lunge. And then ground the palms, sweep the right leg back up towards the sky. 3-legged dog, taking your time. Vinyasa from here, your choice on movement. Beautiful. Opening up. Again, listening to your body. You see me in my practices, the upward facing dog is just not my jam lately because of my low back. So finding that practice that works for you and staying the intention of the movement, and then you're in that vinyasa, that sun salutation. Beautiful. On the inhale, left leg lifts high, find length, reach and extension. Bend the knee, open up the Slowly tap the foot down towards the ground, finding your wild thing. You can lower the hips first and then lift up. Very nice, lower. Beautiful, everyone. So making this transition into your side plank, slowly start to position in taking the left ribs up in line with the ceiling, grounding through the arm, nice, beautiful. And then just stacking the left foot on top of the right. Feel like I am the way of poetry, I will move out of this direction. And bringing the left knee in towards the body, gazing towards the top of the mat, as quiet as a ninja yoga mouse, slowly step forward. Ground the back heel, warrior one, slowly start to sweep the hands up. Now even the subtlest of adjustments, stepping the right foot out to the side, again, just to square the hips so that we feel our entire front body is shining forward. Even if you feel like this isn't what the posture is supposed to look like, remember it's you, every body is different. And then subtly, like moving through water, press the arms out to the sides, connect like you're pressing the walls away. Slowly begin to straighten into the leg, adjust, rotate the body, open, triangle posture, trikonasana, left arm reaches. As you tilt forward, adjust the right hip back, grounding. If you need micro bends in the leg, take it. If the right shoulder is tight, maybe slowly starting to take the right arm back around the waist, just opening up the right shoulder. Very nice position. Pausing here for just one more inhale. And it's the subtlety of movement as you slowly start to bring the hands into the heart, lifting the torso up, coming off the center, and then bending into the right knee, trusting yourself going backwards, slowly start to climb your Sindasana towards the back of your mat. If this position is good, you either have the heel lifted, the shoulder foot is completely down, maybe grounding the right arm up, taking the left arm high, find a little bit more length. So we're trying to open up our entire left side, reaching up towards the ceiling. Stay here for one inhale. Gazing at the top of the mat. Exhale, either slowly starting to position yourself forward, bringing the hands in, finding that low runner's lunge. Once you're there, sweep it up, left leg to top. And then flow forward your movement. Always work to integrate your practice in with another practice. Nice job. Sit in downward dog for just a moment. As part of the balance classes that we take it down at that midway point of the practice. So continue to find into that fire, breathing in, having gratitude for this opportunity to practice. And stay for one more inhale. And exhale. On the next inhale, right heel elevates right into our wild thing, opening up that knee. Slowly tap the foot down, your variation of movement. Reaching it on high. Warriors demonstrating use of a mat to help on a mat. Beautiful. And then transitioning into our side plank. Very subtle into the movement as you position yourself, even just this little lift. You can keep the right leg elevated, entirely up to you. And coming into our fallen triangle, so once you slowly rotate the body forward, once the right hand's down to the ground, knee comes in towards the body and step the foot out towards the left, grounding through the right arm this time, left hand elevates. And then bringing the left hand to the ground, right knee to right wrist, pigeon shape, and hold. Inhale, we lift up. And exhale, ground through the palms, tuck the back toes, lift up, knee to the nose. Either sweep the leg back up, three-legged dog, or gaze between the thumbs, step forward, your choice. Once you're there, warrior one, ground the back heel, sweep the arms up. And then slowly straighten into the right leg, triangle posture, putting up the hips again, opening up. Very nice. You'll know right away if the shoulder is engaged a little bit too much. Maybe it would feel good to bring the hand back around the waist. Use your discretion. This is your body. Trust your instincts, trust your decisions. Gazing down at the right toes, slowly start to sweep both hands forward and then rise up as you pivot onto the ball of the back foot, high crescent lunge, sweeping. I think I was right in this line, so nobody saw me to do that. That's perfect, everything's fine. So one of my favorite moves from our high crescent lunge is this revolve twist, and this is going to have a little bit of more engaged movement here. So if you have the block nearby, positioning the block right towards the left side of the mat, right on the edge of the mat, either off or right at the edge. And now they're like, oh, what's going to happen? So as you open up, you're going to take your left arm forward, right arm reaches back. Create as much length in the upper body as you can. And then just take your peripheral vision, just gazing down. Know where that block is. Like, I see you block. And in one movement, revolved half moon, left hand down, and the right arm extends up, engage into the left leg. Good. Let's stay here for one more inhale. Now knowing you possibly don't need the block on half moon, transitioning down. So slowly start to take the right hand towards the floor or reaching for the block first. Opening back up and then take the left hip towards the sky. Left arm extends up. Good. If you need the block, perfect. If you don't, perfect. Add a little bend into the knee. Slowly start to step the back foot down towards the floor. Warrior two. Arms reach out to T. Lift up. And then reverse your warrior. Reaching back. Find as much length as you can. And then come forward, warrior two. We're going to come all the way back through. So on this transition, you're reaching, lengthening first. Tap the fingertips down, opening up, finding your half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. And then gazing back down, that little block. Transition, as you lower the left hand to the blocker to the floor, immediately you square the hips parallel over the floor, engage into the left leg, sweep the right arm back up towards the sky. The wonkiest of transitions in all of this. Left arm is going to reach forward, right arm is going to reach back, that revolve, high lunge twist. Slowly start to step the back toes to the floor, opening. And then right arm sweeps forward, straight into the right leg. Left hip to the back of the room, ground the back heel, triangle pose. And again, you don't have to go all the way down in these movements. You just use your exhale to sink, lower, and trust. Bend into the right knee, sweep the left arm forward, right arm extends high, Virabhadrasana 1, reaching up. And then exhale, swan dive down, hands either side of the right foot. Step it back, three-legged dog, and lift. Your movement and practice flow from here. Hold. Leaning back in the downward. Facing up. Everyone has their own breath, their own movement. Coordinating, synchronizing through that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Audible breath out. And on the inhale, slowly start to lift the left leg up, wild thing, and then you open up the hip control movement, but active as you flip. Hips can lower, then take everything high, beautiful, everyone. In that same transition point for the side plank. So keep grounding again. Think of the right arm as a pillar. Slowly stack the left and maybe let the left leg elevate. And as we transition to that falling triangle, the left hand grounds first, then bring the knee in towards the heart and step the foot all the way out towards the right. Ground through the left arm, make sure that foundation is secure, then sweep it up. Allowing this imaginary strength to just lift the right hip up, just that extra half an inch. And then gazing down to the mat, right hand grounds, pigeon shape, slowly start to bring the left knee in. Come up with a one inhale lift. And then ground through the palms, flatten the back. Tuck the back toes, lift off the knee, left knee in towards the heart, hold. Option would be three-legged dog for a little bit of yogic momentum, or step the foot all the way forward. We're gonna make our way into our warrior one. Round and sweep, inhale, fully lift up. Triangle posture, open up towards the right, straighten the left leg, and extend, reach out. Very nice. So gazing down at the toes, slowly start to sweep to the right arm forward, bringing the left arm forward, and as we rise up, coming into our high lunge, this slow pressing back of the ball of the foot and lifting up. So where did we leave our blocks? Basketball drills through the legs, and then we're taking the right block to the right side. You have two blocks that's already there. I said one block. So in this transition, I think revolving door, I've said this in a couple of classes, I say this in the teacher training program. A lot of folks would just like to move and be like, ta-da, like it's a big show, cabaret. We want to open up like a revolving door, really owning into our movement so that we can feel into the subtlety of the twist without forcing into the twist. So you want to feel like you have this long spine, crown of the head is up, not tilting forward, not tilting back, just open tall. And then seeing the block, knowing where the block is, revolve half moon, slowly start to position, lifting up, keeping our gaze open towards the left. The grounded leg can be slightly bent, the back leg can be fully extended or slightly bent. Stay for the inhale, gaze down. Exhale, switching the hand placement, half moon, left hand to the floor. Stay grounded, the leg is a little medium rare at this point, right arm reaches up. Find our half moon shape, beautiful. And then add a little bending to the knee. Slowly start to step the back foot down, rising up, finding our warrior two. Use as much mat as you can. So if I come in and my stance is shorter, I'm going to just adjust and move, get onto the surfboard as I want to ride away. Left arm sweeps up, finding your reverse warrior. And then slowly start to come forward, back into your warrior two, gazing down 6 inches or so beyond the toes. Slowly reach, finding your half moon shape, reaching forward. And the right replaces the left, slowly square the hips, transition, use breath, open up, left arm can extend up, finding your revolve, half moon. And really you hold this for as long as the teacher asks, quote, 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 or your transition point out is coming into the revolved twist. So as you position back, slowly start to lower through, the right arm is extended, left hand is back. Good. And then when you're ready, slowly start to lift up, coming into your high crescent lunge. And when you're ready, slowly start to ground the back heel, open up, straighten into the leg, triangle posture, and lower. Stay grounded in the back heel, bend into the left knee, warrior one. Sweep the right arm up, the left arm extends, following high. Stay here just for the inhale, let the whole body expand. And then exhale, tilt forward, release the palms to the floor, come onto the ball of the back foot, three-legged dog, left leg extends high. Finding your flow, either right into downward dog, even child's pose, or vinyasa to find your movement that works best for you, to take you right back into our movement, downward facing dog. Good. Taking 3 breaths here. So if there's any other movement other than downward dog right now in the shape, slowly start to transition. Some of us are feeling more warmed up. A lot of us have arm balance practices, other variations. Some of us have this beautiful practice of child's pose, which you can take at any point in the practice. That's 1. 2. Those sirens are not for us. And 3, leaning back in the downward facing dog. On the inhale, allow the right heel to lift and elevate high. Step the foot all the way forward, ground the back heel, finding our warrior 1, lift up. So from this warrior 1 shape, we're going to start to work into a little bit more of a twist. So bringing the hands in the heart, keep grounded into the back heel. So really strong to the left leg, very active. You can feel the hamstrings. And so slowly start to transition opening up to the right. We're going to bring our left tricep towards the right thigh and twist down. Staying strong within the right leg, calf muscles engage, everything up. The first thing that happens normally in the practice, especially if you have tight hips, is the right hip sasses out to the side. Even pressing it back manually, or just slowly make that adjustment to feel like your hips are square over your mat. Option would be to stay here, or straight into the right leg. Maybe releasing the left hand down to your block, finding a little bit of a revolved triangle. So sweep the right arm high to the sky. If you're feeling any crunchiness in the hip, especially into the low back, slide the left foot a little bit further out to the side of the mat. Good, nice adjustments. The beauty of the teacher training program is you slowly start to have this integration of knowing what feels right, what feels like it can be modified, what needs to be going into a little bit more depth. So you see everyone just adjusting as they need to, owning their own practice. And stay here for one more inhale. See even if you can peel the right hip back just a little bit more. And then release, bending back into the right knee, bringing the hands down to the ground. So not everyone has inversions, arm balance practice that they integrate in. Warrior 1 is actually a really nice way to switch to the other side. So if you bend into the knee and you ground through the palms, it's this subtle switch kick movement, or if you have a handstand practice pressing through, remember to keep your gaze slightly forward, not directly in between the thumbs. So grounding in through the palms, float, and then slowly get to the other side. Grounding into the back heel. Actually, we're gonna do that again. So they're gonna step forward. They didn't have as much fun as I would have thought they would do. So we're just come back in, finding the grounded foot, lean forward, tilt forward, switch. That seemed more fun for all of them. When they're ready, inhale, rear cross to 1. Smile to the indicator. They're not smiling, they're trying really hard. So really work to keep the back heel rounded. This is not an easy pose, especially if you have tightness in your side body or your hips. So bring the hands into the heart, stay grounded. Are your hips square forward? Adjust now, or seeing what that happens when we transition into the twist. So right try to left thigh, open up, revolving door, lengthen, and then reach, connecting into the twist. Good. So this is our first option to hold here. Again, if there's any tightness in the back body, especially into the right hip, if you feel the hip is flared out right to the side, maybe just step the right foot out, see if that naturally, good, nice. Option would be to stay again. Or maybe begin to straighten into the left leg, releasing the right arm towards the ground, revolve, triangle, posture, and open. And same basic principles, if the shoulders are tight, left arm back around the waist. This allows you to peel open more, take a little bit of the pressure out of the clavicles as the muscles expand in the upper chest. Good. You can work on having any amount of straightening the front leg. Let's say grounding through the back heel. It would be easy to lift off the back heel. That's not the intention of the posture. And stay here for one more inhale. And since they've invited this opportunity to play, slowly start to bend into the left knee. Release both palms to the ground. So the other transition from here is your heel is back planted. You could do that nice little float and lift, or even a standing split, slow motion handstand prep, just to have a little activity to the left leg as we meet in a forward fold, skipping the vinyasa and just round. Ragdoll in the body, hands to the backs of the legs. Leg and neck feel long, let the head feel heavy. Sometimes it's nice if you have that block, that prop nearby, and your hands aren't necessarily completely grounded in a forward fold,
just taking the block down and feeling more foundational in this fold. Once our hands connect solidly to the mat, to the surface, to the earth, to whatever we're holding on to, a lot of weight gets taken out both mentally and physically. Takes the pressure out of the hamstrings and the low back, so let your sacrum feel nice and flowy versus restricted. You can even take the block back behind the legs, give it a little bit more security, and then fold. Two more breaths.
Mom, I have 5 witnesses in the next posture. I already had this plan before I knew you came on here. You can't take any of the credit.
So from our posture here, we're going to find our way into our first restorative hip posture. So we're going to end up forcing out towards the right side. So grounding through the left leg, step the right foot back long, and then finding a wide-legged stance. So pressing into the palms, release the right knee to the ground, press into the right arch. Take the left knee to the ground and press into the left arch. We're setting up for our frog posture. So the legs are wide,
Opening up through our IT band. This is going to open up some of the energy blockages potentially in the legs. If you have any tightness in your legs, and knees in particular, maybe bring the knees a little bit closer. We want to find a little bit more engagement into the low spine and walk the hands out as far as you can. If you have a block or blanket, slowly starting to bring that right in front of the face and then lower the heart, the chin, the forehead down to the mat, any distance. So sending your tailbone back and give you a little bit more comfort, sending your knees out wide will obviously engage a little bit differently. Everyone has a different shape, exploring a new movement within the body. This is a posture that brings up thoughts, questions on the duration of the pose. Again, being very mindful of the knees, also within the hips. This is a posture that many could force themselves into. It is not the intention of yoga. Still staying in the breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. Be here 4 more breaths. If you ever want more activity in your frog posture, almost like your cat-cow shapes, grounding through the palms, you can find this little lift and reaching back. Again, just being mindful of the hips. Last 2 breaths in. Feeling the breath leave the body. Is it forced? Is it flowing naturally through the breath channels? Last inhalation together. And exhale. Getting to find a little positioning, walking the hands back up, lifting the heart. Slowly start position onto the left heel, press into the right shin. Walk your hands back onto the mat and untuck the toes. So sitting back onto the heel, left leg's extended, right knee can be out to the side. If you can bring the knee to center, give about a hand's width distance between the thighs. We're resting right on the heel. So the heel is just right in between, sitting back just below the tailbone. Inhale, sweeping the hands up. And then exhale, fold, bringing the hands towards the left foot. If you're immediately feeling any flare up in with the hamstring, just walk your hands back up the leg just a little bit more. But this is a long spine fold. If again, knee tightness here, you can sit back on the block, but the heel, the foot being grounded is acting like a prop. If you'd like, you could also take the right hand to the outside edge of the left foot. Turn this into a gentle twist. We're going to be holding here for 5 breaths. So finding a posture that go chin to shin so it creates length in the neck, length in the spine. Good, Rachel's. It's nice to get compliment to two students at once using one thing. You can even take the left arm back around the waist if you're opening up into this twist, but staying in the fold has a lot of therapeutic needs here in aspect. Go. Be here for one more full inhalation. And one full exhalation. Transition is subtle. Slowly start to lift up one vertebrae at a time, coming back into your center. Taking the right hand back behind, slowly start position. Stepping the right leg out. Bending into the left knee, coming to the back of your mat. So sitting back onto the left heel, right leg extends out. Adjusting first, you should feel propped up again, just right at the base of the tailbone. Hold, inhale, so the hands up. And then fold first, find the natural expression of the posture as you lengthen chin to shin, forehead toward your toes, reaching for the foot, the ankle, or knee. And staying propped up here. You can always take the left hand to the right outer edge of the right foot. Turn this into a slight twist. Right arm can always go back around. Trying to create as much length in the body as you can. And staying for 3 more breaths. Stay for one more inhale. And one more exhale. Gazing down at the leg, twist if you're there. Bringing the hands down either side of the leg. And slowly start to walk all the way up. Lengthening long into the back. So slowly rotate onto the left hip. So you can adjust, take the left leg forward. And then find your way into that knee. So press into the heels, take your sit bones all the way to your heels as close as you can. And then grinding through. So press into the left foot, extend the right leg out towards the front of the back of the room, depending on where you are. Keep the right leg elevated, and then try to bring the right leg closer in towards the body. So coming into our number 4 hip opener, right ankle across the left thigh. So if we feel like we are too close with the hamstring immediately, it's like, what are you doing? Find a little length, walk yourself a little further back, give yourself some space within the hips. Now the option will be here just to stay. This could be completely enough. You see Lori is lifting up a little bit higher. You can come into a reverse tabletop position, slowly starting to open up, taking your hips towards the sky, or just stay here. If you want more sensation in the wrist, fingertips towards the glutes, or stay very strong and active, fingertips away towards the back of the mat. See whatever variation here. A lot of times when I do this, my left thigh will completely lock up, and just from like tightness within the legs, so just be mindful of that. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. If you're into a lot of running, this is a great stretch to be able to stay in and just hold. Nice to do beginning of the day, end of the day. One more inhale. Lift it slowly, start to lower back down, uncross the leg. Round it back, you press your sit bones into the floor, find length into the right leg. Take the right leg up as high as you can. Slowly starting to walk your hands down the leg all the way to the foot and stay rooted. So very nice modified boat pose. I'm sure everyone's happy about this, not doing the full boat. So you find this opening up, smile your clavicle, so you're sending your heart up and broad it into the shoulders. So stay very grounded in the back foot. If you can, bring the heel as close into the body as you would like. Keeping about a hand's width distance between the thighs, just hold. And then slowly put the right foot down. Extend the left leg out. So again, adjust. If you know that the heel's a little too close in for what's going to happen into the hip, step the foot forward. If you're bringing the left ankle across the right thigh, you can manually So as you position here, you can bring it in. Sometimes it's nice to do this little flow back and forth. Again, like I said, not static. You're going to be a little buoyant. Just hold, see how that feels. And if you would like to come into your reverse tabletop position, a little bit more hip opener, also working into the thighs, kind of lift up. Be very mindful of your hamstring. If you feel there's any tightness immediately just doing that, or just the thought of doing it, don't do it. We're trying to work the left ankle right below the right knee. Just hold. Staying active into the arms. And sway the foot. Happy foot movement. Pause here. We got one more full inhale. And exhale. Slowly lower the body down if you are elevated. Lift the left ankle up, press the leg up, and then walk your hands up the leg, reaching for the left foot, and then same opening. So that left shoulder, right shoulder forward, and then open. Hands the distance between the thighs. You're going to gaze at the toes. Made a pedicure comment in my class the other day, and I got more messages on that versus the postures that were in the class sequence. So see where the priorities are. Looking at your toes. And just hold. And then slowly bending into the leg, lower the left foot down. If you have a prop, we're going to come into a restorative bridge posture, taking it down already right at the sacrum. If you know that you need a little bit more lift and you have some openness in the hips, this is a nice way to be able to come into it. So for me, I don't need a lot. I just like to lean back in, opening, and lifting up. Walking back immediately. So just any amount to place the block underneath the sacrum. And again, if you want more height without forcing it, placing the block right at about an inch or so above the tailbone. Now you decide, choose your own adventure in your bridge posture. You want to have the hands more involved. You want to bring the hands underneath you and place the fingers. If the number 4 hip opener felt good, crossing one ankle over the thigh, taking care of both arms. Nice thing about the use of the block here, giving yourself a little bit more foundation, is even at home, if you don't like the bridge pose, you don't feel restorative bridge is giving you anything that you desire, you can also extend, lift the legs up. Puts a gentle amount of pressure on the low back with more of a releasing pressure, coming up the legs up the wall. Your choice. It's a nice way to give you a little bit more arch into the spine if you have tightness in the low back. Again, your movement, your practice, integrate with how and what will feel best for you. Also, if you have the prop handy, maybe you're not using it for this bridge, you already have your bridge posture and it feels good without the prop, which is totally fine. Knowing where something is that we can place on our back here momentarily. We'll come into a heart opener to start to really wind down the whole practice. Creating a little bit more self-love in our balance today. So if you're utilizing the prop underneath, or if you're still working on your variations within your bridge, grounding both feet down into the mat, give yourself a little bit of lift, almost finding a heel extension lift up so you can remove the block from underneath you, and then bringing the knees in towards the body, hands wrapped around the shins, rocking a little bit from the side to side. So one nice thing about this, we're going to use a tiny bit of yogic momentum as you begin to rock forwards and backwards or come into a seat, temporary seat as we place the block or prop, towel, blanket, pillow, anything that rolls up. Place it back, so you're trying to align the block right to where the heart would be if the heart was right on the back body. This is kind of like a Lego backpack, just holding here, and then taking your time to sit all the way back. Placing the back of the head down towards the mat, opening up through the throat energy. The knees can stay bent, soles of the feet down into the ground, coming into your bridge legs. You can also take the soles of the feet together, butterfly, the legs, knees open towards the side, coming into a heart opener of Supta Baddha Konasana. You can take one hand towards the upper chest, one hand to the belly. You can have both hands over the heart, arms out to cactus, to T. Even extend the arm back behind, just hold. Closing the eyes if that's okay in your practice in this moment. Still stay in the yogic breath. And setting an intention for your day. I think for the most part we know why we show up for our practices. But what do we do with the other 23 hours? Taking our practice off the mat into the world. Kinder to one another. Remember what it's like to be human. Saying bless you on a sneeze versus being afraid. You can continue to make any small adjustments and modification depending on how this feels in the back body. Might feel good to lengthen the legs long depending on if the hips have had enough activity for the day. You can also reach the arms back behind. Find a little bit more of this long Golden Gate bridge shape. For the next 6 breaths or so, continue to be your practice before Shavasana. So adding any other movement that would feel good for you to close the practice out the way you would like. Using your own discretion, trusting your decisions, moving when what would feel good for you. That's 3. 4. 5. And 6. Often we just stay exactly as you are for enough. Continue to rest on the block. We're making any subtle adjustments. Just to slowly release from the block. Slide the block off to the side. We're just taking your heels out as wide as would feel good for you, connecting to the corners of your mat. Allowing the body to just surrender into the final posture. Nothing else you need to do, nowhere else you need to be, other than right here, right now, in this moment. And taking one full breath in all together. And releasing the yogic breath on the exhale. Sending breath out. Closing the eyes. And just letting go. Thoughts will come and go. No need to shift your attention to every single thought. Recognize, wave, and let it go. stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. Within the next 5 to 6 breaths, slowly, possibly, your choice. Closing the practice out together, making any movements, any awakenings within the body. Just slowly adjust. Coming into a seated posture, leading the practice together. Thinking subtly of movement, nothing forced. Just awakening, shifting and being. And once you've found your seat, or if you've chosen to stay in Shavasana, maybe just bring the hands into the heart, seated, bring the palms together, thumbs connect in, bowing slightly towards your fingertips. It takes courage to show up. Step on a mat and being okay with what shows for you. We do so without hesitation. We do this with wonder of exploration, of knowing ourselves just a little bit more, each and every time. So thank you for each one of you who continue to show up for you, stepping onto your mat and getting to know yourself just a little bit more. From my wildlife heart, from their wildlife heart, thank you. Namaste. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Memorial Day. If that is something that you celebrate, have fun, get outside, do something for you. We'll see you soon. Thank you.